Begin? Right?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. This topic is a little bit difficult because I think when you contacted me last week, I said this could be done very quickly in a very short time because there's very, very little in the area. There are very few academics in Brazil with interest in this area. It's never really been an area which is being developed. I'm not an expert. I have interest in the area, but it's not my specialist area. I've not published anything in the area. A student of mine, the area in which I work is almost exclusively translation studies. I've had a couple of students kind of working in the area. Luis Carlos Borges did a translation of the Miller's Tale, Chaucer's Miller's Tale, for his MA a few years ago, and he's interested in continuing working with Chaucer. Chaucer's been translated, the Canterbury Tales have been translated in a prose version by Paolo Visioli, an ex-professor from here who was my supervisor. But there are not many other works. I'm talking about medieval English. If you go a little bit later, you'll find a number of people working with Shakespeare. There's quite an active Shakespearean society based in Belo Horizonte under Professor Aymara Rezende. Two students of mine have done theses in the area, both on John Donne, José Girardi on John Donne's sermons, Lavinia Silvares on rhetoric connected to John Donne. Lavinia is working at, what's it called, Unifesp Guarulhos. Unifesp, I don't remember, the Federal University in Guarulhos. José Girardi is working, I don't think he's working with medieval English now, or Elizabethan English. He's working at Chievet, and he has been working at Puki. So I don't think he's really working in the area. And there's not much else. People in other universities in Brazil are not interested in this area. For some reason, I think really in Brazil, I think a couple of things. Studies in English literature are relatively recent, from about the 1960s. So, people read Shakespeare, obviously Byron, but in the case of Byron, through French. So, studies in English literature really just in the last 40, 50 years. And during this time, I think no group or no person has really been developed in the area. If we continue talking about older literature than medieval English, I can mention my student Glauco Mischik, who did his MA on a translation of the Battle of Malden, an Anglo-Saxon poem. Glauco is now working with Old Irish at the moment. He's in Canada. So you can see that the area of studies of medieval English are not really very strong in Brazil.
Why do you think people do not have interest in this area? Is it difficult to search material?
The internet is an enormous amount nowadays. So the problems which existed, let's say, when I began working in the area in Brazil in the 80s, it was very difficult to get material. Now, no problem whatsoever. Because there's so much on the internet, and many original documents have been put onto the internet. And with, of course, medieval English, you don't have problems. The problem which you have with some works in contemporary English, because you can't, for example, just to give an obvious example, something like Harry Potter, you can't put Harry Potter on the internet for copyright reasons. You don't have this problem with the medieval English because everything, of course, is in the public domain. So, the internet, probably more than other areas, has made everything so easy. So there's no longer any problem with material. I think a number of specific problems. One is there have not been specific people who have promulgated, who have developed, who have tried to encourage studies in this area. I think that's been one big problem. Another problem is that it's perceived, medieval English is perceived as being very difficult and puts a number of people off because of that. But I think it's a great change because I'm a great fan of Chaucer, for example, and students, for example, here generally don't get to know Chaucer.
All right.
Oh.
Okay.